Hello, world. All right, so this is a follow up. I promised in previous videos that I would cover this topic. And so today just gonna cover the full spectrum of, elephant foot titus and cycling shoes, or, you're after super comfortable, a cycling shoe solution. I don't know if this is the best resource if you're focused on racing, being the fastest person out there, unless you're literally at the point of uh, you're out of options. You have a medical issue, and this is all tied to and really rooted. Like I got on this journey, and I covered it in a previous video, just because nerve issues in my foot. Traditional cycling shoes are too skinny. Long hours in the saddle with these tight shoes through the years. It was squishing my feet, and ultimately I got nerve damage. If this was my foot, between my big toe and one of my feet, and I talk about it more in my Leviathan 1.0 shoe review, and I'll cover that here. But if you're a hardcore racer, gal or boy, this what I'm going to talk about here, the Strong Feet Athletics Leviathan shoe is probably your best solution. There's also another product on the market, and if I could find it, it's like a custom made cycling shoe, but price points are approaching, it's $1,500, $2,000 plus. So I mean, I love cycling. Yeah, I mean, I'm not at that point yet. I mean, it would take a lot to get to that point, because that's a lot of money. That's a bike in itself. So again, so why are we here? The end state is you like minimalist shoes. You have a wider foot. You have a fat foot. You have a medical issue, but you enjoy cycling, and you want to keep cycling. So I'm gonna go left to right, my left, to on solutions. So the first step was, one, it's important to identify the problem. Like I went for years. I thought, I didn't know. I'm a dude. I'm stupid. So I mean, I just have pain, and I just kept riding, and it was just like, oh my god, you take off your shoes after a long ride, and no, I was just stupid. I was just making it worse. So, anyways, with normal cycling shoes, and which look relatively like this, and you can see the comparable one difference on how wide a minimalist wide foot specific shoe is relative to one. And this is a wide version of Lake shoes. This MX 177 is supposed to be wide, but if you start here and you buy a wider cycling shoe, and for me this one's not wide enough, unfortunately, and it's almost comfortable, but you feel some pain. The easy solution is, well, one, get a wide shoe. Two, these, this is the beauty of the modern age. Like, man, you can find anything on Amazon, but these shoe wideners or shoe stays. And there's two types. For most cycling shoes, this one will work also. So for you younger folks who are like, what is this technology? I don't understand. Well, if you wear quality leather shoes, like some of us older folks did back in the day, when you weren't wearing them, you would want to put these. They'd be made out of cedar or some nicer material. But what this does here, this makes sure it's firm the length of the shoe, and then when you do this will widen it so that your shoe, while in storage, maintain that good comfortable fit. So every time you put it on, it'll be great, because leather, if it's in a dry place, it'll tighten and shrink. So that's what these are for. So you could use this one's great for regular cycling shoes. This is the heel brace. You put it in, and step one is to get it firm to the length of that you want, and then here's you crank it open. Now, my favorite one, so this is for regular shoes. But this one will work, and I'll put a link, and you can get it on Amazon. And it's crazy how, you think of a problem, you're like, somebody have had to solve it, and the reality is they have. This is similar thing, but I like this one better because you have the ankle in it, and it just provides, I think, better pressure to get the length for the heel, so it kicks out this way. Both will come with these little knobby knobs, and based off where you have pain, like if you have a bunion, you could put this where your bunion is. These fit up top, and you could use these even for hiking boots, like pretty much all shoes. Like I have these two just in case I buy something, and they're just not time. If they're not good enough now, I'm smart enough. My wife yells at me, so I'm smart. Is I returned them, and so I'll return them right away. But if it's just there, then I will apply this technique and just widen the shoe for it so it's comfortable. And it's a way to break them in. Uh, and I have to do that for my cross country ski shoes. Absolutely, they don't have an option like this, which we'll review again. But I got two videos on Leviathan, so I'm not going to go into too much depth on there. So one thing you could do is, if this works out the box for you, great. Another thing you can do is if you're somewhere sunny and it's warm, or near a fireplace, I wouldn't put closer than 2 feet. Let the shoe heat up, and then you can crank it down. A quality hair dryer will work. I use a heat gun, and you, from a distance, you slowly get the part you want warm, and then you just crank this wider. On my channel, if you call it that, I like to play with vehicles to a point, and heat guns for modifying plastic parts on the car. I got the idea for that, and then I found any good idea you have, someone else already had it. So there's videos on this in YouTube, but I use a heat gun. This is a riskier solution. I think I burned out some of the plastic on this one, but this solution was a loss for me, unfortunately. And I started this, because I'll talk about later, because I wanted a wide shoe with some traction for gravel or mountain. But this just doesn't work for me, and I'll never go back to this. But a heat gun can seriously damage your shoe. I mean, this is, but a quality hair dryer also works. But the key is you gently add heat to the area you want to improve, and then you just crank this to its limit and let it hold until the shoe cools off, and then you try it. So, I mean, you're not going to return the shoe after that. I've even gone so far as using an axe handle or whatnot to heat, and you put it on the ground, and you're like, heating it to get a certain area. For me, it's always this toe, because I want my toe to spread out. That's where the comfort is. And this works great. And this has worked for footwear. Like I say, my cross country, I don't have them here, where it's just need just a little bit to give your resting foot position enough where there's just basically there's just no pain, and that's where it is for me. So this is solution number one. It's great because it gives you a lot of options with existing footwear. So for my favorite brands like Altra, what they call their original or whatever, like straight out, they're certain, the original Ultra or whatever they go, they're where they started, where they actually cater to actually wider foot minimalists. Those work fine for me. If I get their, I think they call it normal, I'll put nose clear. Then I did have to use this, but fortunately I discovered zeros and limbs, and I don't even have to worry about those weird widths for Ultra. I only use those for the running shoes. So, solution number one, spreaders, buy wide shoes to begin with, foot spreaders with a hair dryer or a heat gun. Now, this is like for, I would imagine if you're a bike packer, recreational enthusiast, in general, this works really well. I only like clipping in for, gravel riding, and road, like longer rides where, I want to have a pace, I want to be faster, more efficient. But if it's anything else, where I'm going to get off my bike on a dork around hike tour or whatever, this is the jam. So it's Pedaling Innovations Catalyst pedal. And you can go to the website, get the story and all that stuff. But the key thing about these, and I think these retail close to $200, and they're totally worth it. Uh, is they're a platform pedal, but they are a lot longer than your average platform pedal, and they're totally easy to maintain, self-sustain. Like you can, you know, service the bearings. You can replace the cleats. It actually comes out of the box with replacement I wouldn't say cleats, spikes. I've never had to. You got to be really hardcore to challenge those, but they come with it, all of that stuff. So it's easy to service. But the key and the secret sauce is that they are wider than your average platform pedal. So why is that important? Well, you know what you want in a good cycling shoe is you want it to be like, this shoe is not stiff. Like you want some stiffness, rigidity in the shoe, because as you're pedaling, it puts a lot of pressure and load on your calves and or your Achilles. And since we're modern humans who don't walk a lot, our lower extremities are just weak YouTube. So you want to minimize that stress for long rides. So finding a good non-clipless cycling shoe. I mean, you could wear hiking boots. People have done all kinds of things, but then you're getting a tread that's thicker, and you really don't have good pedal feel. So like I used to wear like firmer light hikers with the regular platform pedals until I discovered this. So it does also another thing. You have a more surface area with the clips to get a good bite on the shoe. So you get the near clipless like experience, right? A lot of pedaling efficiencies. So the beauty of this is you can take, and my favorite combo was these Zeros hiking shoes. And I'll put the name. I can't remember the name. I have 2 pairs of these. What are these? Oh, they don't have the name. But this was Zeros started to go like limbs closer to where, hey, wait a minute. We live in the modern world. We're not bebopping around on sand or whatnot. So we need to have a little bit more soul on the cycling shoe. So this is this is what I think are like in the bandwidth of the perfect modern minimalist shoes for most of us, is that it's designed for the concrete asphalt world we live in. So you still get the wide benefit, the big spread benefit, you get the zero rise, but it has a little bit of soul. like soul, right? So not your best thing for cycling, but the beauty of these Catalyst pedals is no matter what shoe you wear. In fact, what is it? Long. I have done what is it? Crocs. Like there is no stiffness to these, but even with Crocs, you get this great pedal position that allows you to just bike. I mean, with just about any footwear. I mean, that you can handle the cleats. So this combo was great for me, and a road bike, mountain bike, all my bikes, great. The only thing that you have to know is the setup of your bike's a little bit different. Your seat height's a little lower with this, and then the way I would pedal is, when this foot's coming down, my toes I'd point down, and I just got this, like you're scraping like dog poo off your shoe constantly. And so just got great traction with the shoe, lots of efficiencies. It was great. So these are awesome. I think if I was going to, and I'm not a backpacker tour type person, but if I was going to cycle around the world or do bike packing, I mean, this would be my number one shoe, because I could wear anything. You get off, hike a bike, walk, or whatever. Great pedal, highly recommend it. I mean, the challenge is the price of entry is higher, because it's like $200. But what? If cycling is a foundation core to what you do, then great. So the only con on this that I would be cautious, folks, is if you're like a shorter rider on 700cc or a road bike or 29 inch, and your bike has a steeper head angle, so where the head tube angle, so where the fork is, and the angle is steep because they got to squish your short self on to a 29-inch paddle. You want, if you're at risk of toe overlap, so that's where when you turn the wheel and your pedal position is forward, your wheel will hit your toe. That is the only issue on one bike. One of my road bikes and a gravel bike that was more of a climber, had a shorter wheelbase, steeper head tube and shorter wheelbase. I did have a slight toe overlap challenge when pedals are level to the ground, one's forward, and if I wanted to take a sharp turn, I would get the bump, right? So this is the only potential challenge. No, I just worked around it. Since I mountain bike a lot, subconsciously moving your pedals, well, I would assume, where you're not doing rock strikes on corners or technical sections. I mean, that just got worked into, because rarely do you turn a bike in that position, that tight angle. But it's something that could happen, not to be surprised, easy to manage around in normal mountain biking, or normal cycling. So, anyways, only potential drawback. And if this is, you could actually put regular pedals on your bike and ride it and see if, that could be a potential risk for you before investing in this solution. But again, loved this, universal, still used now, like on my mountain bike, actually only my gravel bike do I use a performance solution, which I've covered the Leviathan 1.0s and 1.1s. I'm not going to cover here, but ultimately what's cool these days is, there are vendors out there, thankfully, who are saying, hey, recognizing that, it's just, I don't, that this bad footwear solution that damages our feet is not the way to go. So, Leviathan or Strong Feet Athletics, I think, is the best solution out there. I have two pairs because I messed up the sizing, but fortunately I have the 1.1s. And then I am experimenting with the Lake. Oh man, I can't remember. MX, is it MX 200? They got a new, supposedly even wider than the MX 177. I'm gonna try it, and if it's close, then maybe I'll do this. I'll probably do a review on that. And why am I, investing in that? Because I want a little bit more flexible shoe with traction, because I would love to be clipped in on my mountain bike. Even though I don't mountain bike as much, I would love that. And if the shoe is good enough for more gnarly gravel rides where there's hike-a-bike sections, I would love to have a walkable shoe, because the Strong Feet Athletics, they're just like a road bike shoe. They're not per se walkable. So something just more walkable. So we'll see how that goes. But anyways, that's the full spectrum of solutions. I promise to do a video on that. And I'll put more commentary on the links below. If any of you have questions, you can go to the vendor site and go from there. But again, this was an expensive journey for me. Like you don't even see. It was an expensive journey. But again, and I'll probably do a separate video. I'm a ex-military dude. Or anyone, like if you're retiring from a career in industry and you've put your identity into, say, your profession, or ex-military, like whoever you are, and you get out into the real world or the normal world, and you have enough means where inconvenience bothers you, and that would probably be a fun video in itself, but But for the working stiffs, the folks who they're to a certain perspective, their opportunity is that their resource management problem is so practical that getting free time, time off on the holidays, it's like, hey man, that's victory, right? But for some of us who have enough resources, or what I call the American dream is the ability to survive, thrive, which is save enough. So you're working a 40-hour work week, shift one, not weekends. It means you can trade your time for resources and have enough time to have fun. Well, if you're in that bandwidth, then you have the opportunity to have life's inconveniences challenge your perception of happiness. And that's a key point. So in the United States and maybe some Western countries, I mean, a lot of folks, and they're not necessarily conscious that, their privilege, and it's not white privilege, it's their socioeconomic privilege, and gives them the opportunity to be unhappy over literally inconveniences. So what happens and what manifests is perception is reality, and people get lost. So sidebar there, but for me, in that journey, which I'm conscious of now, cycling, first it's fitness, but fitness was best expressed for me through cycling. What is a main component on how I manage the negativity of the emotional discomfort privileged inconveniences can have on my routine life. In fact, I'll close on this point. Like I tell folks, and people, at work or whatever, they're like, oh, they're upset. Or I look on the news, people like in Western world, United States, they're upset at things, and I, as a armchair enthusiast student of history, I always reflect on the fact, I'm a Gen Xer, and I literally think Gen X, like in the span of humanity, and if you're a U.S. citizen or a Western world person, we lived at the peak of human existence. Like I actually think, if I was a more learned person and was going to write a paper, I'd be like Gen X, and probably the older millennials, and even other. It's just know we live the best lives of any human being in human history, uh, in terms of convenience, comforts, opportunity, just about everything. It's insane, like how amazing it is, and unfortunately, maybe this is another song, the concept of Tao, like the depths of one's unhappiness and discomfort defines the extent of one's happiness and satisfaction. So, since so many people are just so comfortable in our privileged world, uh, their ability to realize and perceive the opportunity of happiness in their life is a lot lower. That's what I'm at. So somewhere around there, we were talking about footwear. So, anyways, close up. Ideally, this was helpful, and you save money. Out.